Welcome to the Chemistry Department. Croeso i'r Adran Cemeg. My name is Colin Davis. I'm the Head of Chemistry at Ysgol Dyffryn Aman. The Science Department has 5 options available for study at sixth form. You can opt to study A-level Chemistry, A-level Biology, A-level Physics, A-level Geology, or Level 3 in Medical Science. So what do I need to study in A-level in Chemistry? The first requirement is you must have passed either triple or double science. You'll need a minimum of 3 B grades in triple science or a minimum of 2 Bs at double science. You must have been entered for higher tier papers in chemistry in year 11 in order to allow you to continue to study A-level in chemistry. At present, if you're taking single applied science, you will not be allowed to opt for an A-level in chemistry. You do need to ensure you achieve a minimum of a B grade in mathematics. This is due to the sheer volume of mathematics that is covered in the course, and English at a minimum of a C grade to ensure literacy standards are high enough to access A-level papers. So at Ysgol Dyffryn Aman in the chemistry department, we typically have class sizes of between 15 to 25 pupils annually. The course is taught by 3 members of staff, all who've been teaching the A-level course now for many years and have a lot of experience in dealing with A-level topics. The course will be a mixture of face-to-face teaching, digital learning through Google Classroom, and independent research tasks. End-of-topic tests and ACTS homeworks will be used to track progress and provide pupils with individual targets and support pupils as and when that is needed. Our labs were recently refitted and have all the equipment necessary in order to carry out A-level practical work. We also have close links with the Department of Chemistry in Swansea University, and from time to time we take trips down there in order to use their labs to develop further practical skills. So why would you choose to study an A-level in chemistry? Well, chemistry is often referred to as a central science as it's a combination of many different sciences. So quite often we cover areas of physics, biology, mathematics and medicine. Now it is important to remember that at A-level there is a higher demand on mathematics than there was at GCSE. You will need to be able to perform complex calculations. So for example, you may need to calculate moles in various different ways, convert units and use mole ratios far more frequently at A-level. As well as covering theoretical ideas at A-level, we also look at complex practical skills in order to allow us to synthesize, identify and purify chemical substances. So you'll develop skills such as titration and organic synthesis. These are far more complicated practicals than you would have been used to at GCSE, and these will be developed over the course of the 2 years. So what is an A-level in chemistry actually like as a pupil? Well, the first thing, it is a very demanding A-level and you need to be prepared for that. But equally for that reason, it's a very rewarding subject. If you do manage to succeed in A-level chemistry, it's a great feeling. It's going to take a lot of dedication and a willingness to work outside of your lessons. You have to be prepared to put additional time in outside of the classroom. Simply turning up to your lessons is not enough to pass an A-level in chemistry. So you're going to need to be prepared to do a lot of independent study in order to master topics to achieve the grades you may be hoping to get at the end of the course. So you will need to be prepared to sit down and read around the subject in additional textbooks and exercise books. This is going to challenge your numeracy skills. You're going to need to do far more complex mathematics than you're used to at GCSE. It'll develop your problem-solving skills. You're going to need to be able to work out how to create different molecules and remember how to do this. And for that reason, it is a challenging course, but it will bring out the best in you. So at A-level in chemistry, we study 3 areas. We look at organic chemistry, physical chemistry, and inorganic chemistry. In inorganic chemistry, you'll carry out experiments to test for cations and anions. So these will be similar to the flame test and the precipitate test that you did at GCSE. We'll take a closer look at groups 3 to 7, the P block. So you'll need to know how they react, recall common reactions, and draw diagrams to show the bonding that takes place in the molecules of the P block. At GCSE, you didn't study the transition metals, the D block, but at A-level, we look at this in far more detail. You need to remember colours that are produced during chemical reactions, as well as explaining why they are coloured and why they're able to react as catalysts. In Year 12, you'll study trends in Group 1 and Group 2, known as the S block. So you'll be expected to remember their solubilities and which of the S block, or Group 1 and 2, create white precipitates in chemical reactions. In organic chemistry, we'll be taking a look at many different areas, but just as an example, we'll be expecting you to recall reagents and conditions to create organic products. So an example could be remembering the reagents needed and the temperatures needed to produce aspirin. You'll be given unknown samples and you'll need to identify these by carrying out chemical tests. So things like using Tollens reagent or Fehling's reagent and remembering what the colours indicate or tell us. In Year 12, one of the more complicated ideas will be drawing mechanisms. So drawing arrows to represent the movement of electrons and diagrams to represent what is likely to happen when one substance reacts with another. In addition to this, there'll be an opportunity to carry out or research or perform some practical tasks. So things like distillation and titrations. In physical chemistry, we'll be visiting rates of reaction again, but we call it kinetics at A level. You'll be looking at this in far more detail, and you'll need to be able to explain how conditions can be changed in order to speed up or slow down chemical reactions. In energetics, you perform many different forms of calculations to determine whether reactions are likely to take place. So examples would be things like a Hess's law diagram, where you'd work out the value of delta H in order to determine if a reaction will take place. At GCSE, you'll have recently been studying the reaction of acids and bases, and you'll have covered titrations as part of the course. You'll have done mole calculation and concentration calculations. These are touched upon again, but this time in more detail and with higher demand. At the beginning of the Year 11 course, you looked at ionic and covalent bonding. At A level, we look at bonding in a lot more detail. So we look at ionic and covalent bonding again, but in addition, we then look at intermolecular forces and try to understand the effect that these have on melting points and boiling points. So how is the course divided? In Year 12, you will take 2 exam papers, Unit 1 and Unit 2. Both papers last for 1.5 hours and contribute 20% towards the final qualification. So Year 12 contributes 40% towards your final grade. In Year 13, the final 60% is made up of 3 examinations, 2 written papers, Unit 3 and Unit 4, both are 25% of the overall mark, and the final paper is a practical paper. You'll have 1 hour to complete a practical task, and then an additional hour and a half in order to answer practical-based questions on techniques and analysis. And that forms the final 10% of the overall qualification. Now, there are many, many possible careers and routes open to you if you study in A level in chemistry. You can pause the video at this point and open the camera on your phone to scan the QR code. This will take you to the RSC website where you can look into different career paths in far more detail or in depth than you would have been able to at Ysgol Dyffryn Aman. This is well worth doing, as it may give you some ideas about career opportunities that you may not have thought about, such as, for example, law or journalism, all of which an A-level in chemistry can help you lead to. If you have any further questions or want to discuss a possible option of taking A-level chemistry, feel free to do so at the end of this presentation, or you can always ask your teacher to discuss whether they feel A-level is a suitable option for you at the end of a Google Meet or when we return to Ysgol Dyffryn Aman. Thank you very much for your time this evening.